Okay. Okay, so today we'll be talking about systems to power your real estate business. Systems, I know that's one of those topics that a lot of realtors are not really strong in, right? I mean, we have the basic tools that we all kind of know. We have, MLS, Outlook, those types of things. But the more that we come together, the more I want you guys to realize that you have to set this thing up like a business, or it's just gonna be a hobby, right? And the more things that you have in place that are automated, that are systematic, that are organized, the more you're gonna have free brain space to actually go out and get the business that you need to run your business. So the systems are super important, so you don't have to think about things that are small and unnecessary, giving you the capacity to think about the things that are more important. So systems can be used to run your business, to market your brand, and to nurture your clients, right? And so we're gonna break those down into different topics in that regard. So first off, we'll talk about systems we use to run your business, basic things. This is one of the basic things that I call basic, but there's still a lot of realtors who do not have this, right? If you don't have a strategic plan, if you don't have a marketing plan, if you don't look at your a year in advance and say, okay, in this season, I'm gonna do this quarter, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars for my marketing. Every time I get a closing, X amount of dollars is gonna go back into my business. You wanna have those conversations with yourself, right? And not just kind of be, paycheck to paycheck or closing to closing, because that's a job. That becomes more of a grind. But when you start thinking about it big picture, you'll start to feel like you have a much better handle on it. Okay, so let's see what a strategic business plan looks like. It does not have to be page after page after page, right? It just has to be some sort of organization to your business. So you can break it down daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, right? And we'll kind of do that here. So I recommend that at least one day out of the week, you have a designated day that is your business development day. And these are days where you're going to sit down and actually look at do your strategic plan, to track your expenses, to strengthen any systems. Like if there's a new system that you want to put into place, you can figure out a way to get it into your business, to tailor your calendar to make sure that you're accounting for the things that are important to you, to perfect your marketing strategy. So I know all the time we're always on, social media, and you might see a strategy that another agent used. Take some time that day to figure out how you can take a piece of that and put it into your business. Yes, ma'am.
Question, the previous page, the little checklist, do you have that printed out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably in your email, but I will send that to you. I'll send you this whole presentation. Okay. That way you'll have it all. And then we'll take notes.
If I'm writing swear, and my mind's going type it. So I take a little bit, can't read them later.
And then you lose your paper.
Right.
Brainstorming new ideas, because really what we're all starting to see, I think, I won't say most of this, but some of us have been in the business long enough to see shifts in the market. Like we've gone from a heavy seller market to a more balanced market. And we know that we have to come up with new things and stay on top of what's new and what's cutting edge, because real estate is changing day by day. And we've got threats that are coming to our business, to our industry, that we need to make sure that we're staying on top of. So this day kind of gives you time to brainstorm with other agents, network with, that's what I'm loving about our Iron Sharpens Iron class. So that's what the point of that is supposed to be, for us to come in and talk about things that are relevant at the time, not just the same old open house, fill out, or that's all stuff that's kind of, a given. But there's some things that we can implement into our business that keeps us, separated from the thousands of other realtors that are in the business. I mean, and I'll tell you this, I know you're new to real estate, but I feel like every time I blink, there's a new realtor, right? So if you think about it, we're kind of just a regular commodity in this. Like there's no shortage of realtors, right? So when you are dealing with a seller, you have to figure out, how am I going to distinguish myself from every other realtor that's out there? Like you gotta have something, and you have to be able to articulate what that something is, or you're just like everybody else, right? So I'm glad that you guys are engaged and coming to class and putting effort into your business, because this is not an easy industry to stay in. It's an easy industry to get in, right? All you gotta do is pass the state exam, pay your money, and you're a realtor. But to stay in this for any length of time, you're gonna have to think about it in a big picture and actually have things in place that are gonna help you stay on top of yourself and make sure you're moving forward. So make sure you have a business development day. This is all part of we're still talking strategic plan here, okay? So in your weekly strategic plan, look at what your week should look like. What do your Mondays look like? What do your Tuesdays look like? Make sure that all that stuff is at the forefront of your mind. And these don't have to be what they actually are. I'm just saying, like, this is just an example, right? And I'm a big fan of waking up and saying, okay, today is Tuesday. I know what I'm supposed to do on Tuesdays, right? Not to say that every day has to be the same, but at least you have a mission to accomplish on each day of the week, right? And then we're gonna talk about your monthly schedule. What do you do every month as a realtor? So there should be at least one day that you set aside to write birthday cards for the month ahead. So maybe the third Thursday of every month, you write birthday cards for all the people who have birthdays in October. Same thing with home anniversary cards, just making sure that you have a day that's focused on something that seems so insignificant, but has a major impact, right? Writing thank you notes to referral partners. I would tell you that in this age that we're living in with AI this and automated that and bot this, like people are gonna be tired. I'm already tired of it. I don't want to see an altered image of your face. You know what I mean? I think it's cool in the beginning, but it's like I want authenticity. I want somebody to handwrite me a note. I want somebody to hug me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get something that's rich, right? Yeah, I think that the internet has allowed us to connect to a broader audience, but not in a deep way, you know? And when we can find ways to connect to our database in a meaningful, authentic way, that's what's gonna separate us from everybody else, right? So, attending networking events, that's another thing. It's in person, that's in your face, and I'm gonna remember conversations that I have with you. Spotlighting a business every month. That's a great way to connect with people in your community. And then maybe sending a letter to your database. I'm actually kind of forecasting a little bit, but if you have trouble with coming up with content for newsletters and blogs and that sort of thing, to me, I think that's kind of something that you can use AI for, right? Something that's gonna take too much brain power for you, but it's easy for ChatGPT, right? Yeah. So I would say that, you know, you want to use AI for things that are gonna take your brain power away, but not the connection that you have with the people that you're wanting to connect with. Your quarterly schedule, okay? This is just an example, but just giving you an example of how to think about your strategic plan. So every January, pick a date, whatever day you want, or maybe a week, to call all your past clients, not text them, not message them, but to pick up the phone and actually let them hear your voice, right? And when you're gonna have that conversation, really it's just a care call, just calling to see how they're doing. But you can also send them an annual real estate review, which is nothing but a year-long CMA, right? Let me show you what's happened in your neighborhood in the last 365. And then link them to vendors that you've connected with in the past year. That's easy to do. There's actually something I'll just share with you guys. There's this company that will actually do custom magnets for you. And I was thinking that would be a great thing to have a vendor list. Instead of having one that's just paper, if you have like a magnet where they can just stick it on the side there and it has your branding on there, of course. But then that's something that they're not gonna throw away, that they'll actually reference, and that's something that's useful. Because here's the thing, like a lot of times people will use those we call them sports schedules. But as soon as that season's over, they have a use for it, right? So if you give them something that they'll always need, that's a little more, you know, permanent, right? So you can do that. And then just discuss refinancing. We just have a whole conversation about, hey, I know, you know, because I know that the only time that I would think about refinancing is when all of a sudden I see my mortgage go up. But if you can kind of, you know, just have that conversation being at the beginning of the year, it kind of gets them in the mindset of, oh, I just need to think about my finances as a whole. What does my mortgage look like? What do I need to look like? Who do I need to talk to? And that's another way that you're providing value and linking them with qualified vendors who can kind of educate them in a better way. All right, every April, call them again, let them hear your voice. Simple things, remind them to turn their sprinkler system on. Maybe you've added another HVAC company to your roster and share that with them. Simple things, it does not have to be complicated. I'll tell you something that's so crazy, these calling people actually makes a huge impact. I called a client last week and just so happened her father had passed away. And she was, you know, she's the only child and she has to deal with all of it by herself. And I'm like, if I had just sent a text, you know, I don't think I would have, she might not have told me that, you know what I mean? Because she's really kind of closed off. But when we were having a conversation, she told me where she was, what she was doing, and now, you know, I've got a connection with her and touch base with her in a meaningful way. Whereas if I would just, hey, hope you're doing well, I'm gonna give you this type of thing, you know what I mean? So picking up the phone is very powerful. I know that seems like you don't want to just call people, but it's not that hard to do. And there are people that already know and like you. So I encourage you to at least once a quarter, call the people that are in your sphere.
And do you leave voicemails and stuff for people click on that too? If they don't answer, if they push you to voicemail, you leave them a quick voicemail.
Yeah.
Just to check in and hear your voice.
Yeah, well, I'm bad at checking voicemail, so I would probably, if I didn't get them, I would probably just send a text and just say, hey, try to call you, give me a call back when you get a chance, something like that, but you can't leave voicemail, but.
I just did that.
Yeah.
I'll hurt this one, yeah.
Crazy, no.
I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah,
Warranty information and all that stuff.
Right. But it's just funny how it wants to share. Yeah,
I can't deal with the little red notification on my.
you need to know.
Yeah.
You know, who did what, yeah. But, I remember, this is gonna make me sound really old, but it was probably in 2012. When people started really texting a lot, and I was like, oh, that's so rude, why don't they just pick up the phone and call? I was like, I would never be a texter. And then it's like a couple years later, like if somebody calls me, it's like, oh, why are you calling me? It's just weird how our modes of communication change. I can't stand email anymore. Like I only want to be an email if I'm doing work, but all these drip campaigns and I'm like one person. I unsubscribe in like 10 days every day. So it's just weird how now sending something in the mail is a lot more personal than, you know, email or something like that. All right, every July, you're gonna call them, everybody in your sphere and invite them to the Salt Summer Jam, right? What is that? The Salt Summer Jam? Oh my gosh. So Salt Summer Jam is our annual fundraising event and all the money goes to a nonprofit called Bees and Salts.
Okay.
And so it's a big celebration, you got music, food trucks, you get a dump tank, all these things. And so we've done it for the last 3 years and it's grown and we've raised more and more money each year. So it's almost like a built-in client appreciation event that we've got. So you can have to fund it yourself, right? But if you invite all of your clients to come to it, it's just a fun free event for them.
Nice.
And the second year we did it, there was a family that we kind of adopted and we got Christmas gifts for all of them and actually helped them with some home repairs, like they put piers in there. They needed piers, they needed windows and electrical work, and we were able to pay for all that for them. And we invited them, they had like, how many kids did they have? Was it? No, it was way more than 6. I think they had 9, no, I think it was.
They had 7, but the little boy passed away.
Yeah.
8. No, there were 7. There was 9 of them.
Yeah, so they had 7.
There was 8.
Yeah.
It's not 7.
Yeah, so they all sing along. No, they were very there, but they all came out and that was the year we had the Dodgers, the Dodger dogs come out.
Yeah, I was there that year.
Yeah, it was a really, really good time. So just so you know that that's something that we do every June, and so you're welcome to invite your clients to that. And so if it's something that you want to do that's more smaller and more intimate, you can do like a barbecue or something, any type of client appreciation.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then every October, another call, remind them to put their eyes on home. It's just, you know, just having maybe like a week out of every quarter where you're literally intentional about making sure that everybody that's in your database gets a call from you. Ooh. I just do. There we go. All right, and then your annual schedule can include things, or we'll actually talk about that when we get to your calendar, but at least hosting one client appreciation event or environmental salsa. Okay, so another system, so that's covering the strategic plan. Another system is your calendar. And I know that seems super simple, but when I do one-on-ones with agents, this is where people have the most trouble, is putting things on the calendar and timing it out and saying, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And they get it, and now you have a hard time sticking to it, because stuff comes up.
Yeah.
And so I don't want you to beat yourself up over it, it's really just to help you get back on track. But here's some things that you might want to put on your calendar, okay? Simple things, make sure you have all your clients' birthdays, all your family birthdays, all that. Any vacations that you wanna take, and that's important too, especially in real estate, because if you know you're gonna be on vacation, you need to make sure that you have systems in place for your business to still run while you're gone. Somebody to step in for you if you need somebody to show a house or, take photos or whatever it is. You wanna make sure that your marketing schedule is on your calendar, that you know when you're going to, you have an outline for your social media, you have an outline for your farm, whatever marketing you're gonna do, you wanna make sure you're thinking about it at least a year in advance, and especially with farming, you wanna have a long-term plan for that. So just having all that on a calendar will be helpful for you. Any networking events or conferences, we're actually going to Phoenix next week to the Build How conference. I know, we'll take that, we'll bring that. And I actually found out that Tom Ferry was here like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that would have been an easy one to go to, but yeah, anything that like that you want to go and enhance your business, it's a tax write-off because it's business related, right? So put those on your calendar, and then make sure that you're meeting regularly with your mentor or coach, because I think that piece, that accountability piece, is what a lot of realtors are missing. But it really helps you just focus on the things that you said you want to focus on. There's no magic in it, except that you're reminding yourself of what you want.
It's kind of a little nudge.
Right, right.
Get
And
your focus, redirect.
absolutely, absolutely. And if you guys get hot, we can open up one door. Are you guys okay? Mhm.
Your computer is singing, and I don't think it was the.
Oh, it's just freaking out on me? Okay, we'll just, here we go, boom, we're back in. All right. So you guys, if you don't have all the checklists and templates, that I emailed to you, definitely get that, because that is a system. That is a system to keep your brain from having to think about, what do I do after this? What document do I need for that? When you're in real estate, you're doing it and you're going, a lot of that stuff will become second nature to you. But if it's been like a couple months since you've actually written a contract or wrote an offer or listed a house, you might be a little rusty. And so all you have to do is go back and grab your little checklist and say, oh, I forgot I needed to schedule a termite, inspection, or oh, I needed to, set up memory service or whatever it is on that checklist. And it keeps you from having to think about all the things that you're supposed to be doing, because it's right there on the checklist. Software and apps. So these are all systems. A lot of these are pretty basic ones that we're familiar with, but just realize that these are all part of your business, right? So MLS and MLS Touch, Dot Loop, your email is part of your business. Using Realist and the County Assessor's page, RPR, CTO Agent 1, Showing Time. And I know a lot of these are foreign to you, but these are all kind of standard apps and tools that we use that we'll show you how to use. But just know that those are all systems that you already are using in your business. A couple more useful apps. Have you guys used any of either Spacio, Curb Hero, or Open Home Pro for an open house before? Okay, definitely look into them, because Curb Hero is actually free, and it's a platform that allows you to have a QR code for clients to sign into. It links, I think it captures their information, and it allows you to create a landing page for that property. So it's pretty robust. I know, it's very, very cool. And Spacio and Open Home Pro are very similar to that. So if you've not tried those for your open houses, please do, and let me know how it goes. I haven't used them yet, but I was just kind of checking out newer apps that might be helpful for realtors, and these ones are definitely ones that I found interesting. Mile IQ, you use Mile IQ, yeah. Will help you track your mileage and everything for your business, so you can write that off. I will tell you that the first probably forever, mileage has been probably my biggest right. So you gotta make sure that you keep track of that. If not, at the very least, make sure that at the beginning of the year, you know what your mileage is, and then at the end of the year on the same day, you know what your mileage is, and then have about, a percentage about how much is used for work. That's an easy, cheap way to do it, but Mile IQ is a lot more accurate, and it's probably a great way to go. This is an app that I have not used yet, but I was excited when I came across it. It's called Deal Check. So a lot of us now are working with investors, and we may not know all the ins and outs of the number crunching of it, like cap rates and all this, and all these different terms that investors use. And a lot of times we get with investors who are not really investors, they're just people like us who want to buy investment property. So they may not even know all the terms. But this website or this app called Deal Check actually runs the numbers and shows you if it's a good deal or not. So it's like you type in how much it costs, how much you get rent, blah, blah. I think it actually shows you like the area and what rents are going for in that area. So it's a pretty cool site. So you guys check out that app as well. So we kind of talked about ChatGPT. I have mixed feelings about it. I love it for some things, hate it for others. But these are some ways that you can use ChatGPT to help your business. Listing descriptions is one, but I also caution you because there was actually a post. I was gonna save it and read it to you, but it was hilarious. You could so tell that ChatGPT wrote this post because it was just.
Copy and paste it in.
Yes, but it was so flowery and like overdone and impersonal and unnecessary.
Yeah.
And so you don't want your listing descriptions to start sounding like over the clock. So
You don't also want them to put anything in there that's a fair housing violation, so like within walking distance, like you can put that in there because of the cap people.
right, or family oriented or even professional. I think there was some copy in there for that. But no, this example was just over the top. So I put caution next to it because I need the human touch to be at least on there. Content for newsletters though. I mean, if you want to send out a newsletter every month, you don't want to spend a bunch of time writing content for that. So you can say, hey, ChatGPT, what's going on around, give me a paragraph about what's going on in Oklahoma in the month of September. And it'll write out the whole thing, and now you've got content for your newsletter. You see how that's a great way to use it. That's still kind of personalized, but doesn't take a bunch of your brain power to put it together. That's a great way to use it. Same thing for blogs. Maybe you want a script outline for a topic that you're going to record on video. You can use it for that. And you can create email drip campaigns. There's lots of CRMs that have email campaigns, but maybe you want it on a specific topic, and you can have ChatGPT kind of put something together for you. And same thing for ad content. Maybe you have trouble putting words together for something that you're going to advertise, like maybe Facebook ads or whatever. You can ask ChatGPT to help you with that. So those are some good ways to use it. All right, so let's talk about some systems to actually market your brand.
With the Real Office 360, have you used it? Like, does it allow you to do things like find us, like send out campaigns and things like that?
It's not, no, it does, I don't think it does email blasts. I think it's more like, transaction tracking, and I think it does sync with your calendar. That's one of the reasons that I did like it, because you can put like all the anniversaries and anniversaries that you put in your CRM will be populated to your calendar, that sort of thing. It just really depends, and we're gonna talk about CRMs too. It depends on what you want your CRM to do, what you're gonna use it for. Because I just know how I am. I don't like to spend a lot of time learning a software. I would rather have 20 apps that all do one thing really well and simply, than trying to dive deep into a software that I'm not gonna use 10 of the services, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out your CRM is, cause I mean, cause line desk still keeps popping up on these top, yeah. Yeah, I just found it kind of glitchy, but I guess in comparison to some of the other, now the ones that are more extensive and more robust, I know Follow Up Boss, I know people that use that and love it and get lots of leads from it because it's one of those really interactive, it's got, AI chat into your clients for you, I don't know how to feel about that either, but, but you really just have to kind of dive into it, and there's actually some on here that I've not explored yet, but I'll share with you guys, and you guys can poke around, let me know what you think on it. But before we talk about systems to market your brand, let's talk about the difference between branding and marketing. Does everybody know the difference between branding and marketing? Pretty much. Nope, let's talk about it. Might as well start. So what's the difference between marketing and brand? Anybody?
Is branding is more like create an image
Mhm.
of something like yourself or things like that, or marketing be more of trying to get something sold.
Mhm.
or
So,
something.
yeah, so the way I think of it is branding is what you're selling and marketing is how you're selling it, right? So when we think about a brand, and we talked about that earlier with everybody in their mom being a realtor, is that when you're branding yourself, really you are your, right? So you can do the same things that another realtor does and not get the same results because they're their own brand. Like I can't do what Brandon does on TikTok because I'm not Brandon, right? So you have to figure out who you are and who you are as a professional realtor and be able to communicate that through marketing, through things like what we're gonna talk about next, okay? So something simple, personal branding is, what does your website look like? What do your business cards look like? What does your name tag look like? What are your online profiles, your bio, your photos, all that kind of stuff? That's your brand, right? But you use these things to market your brand. So even something as simple as the signs that and the good thing is that, you already, because you're with a brokerage, you do have some branding. So Salt has a brand, but you have to figure out a way to brand yourself as a Salt agent, right? So these are all things that, that will have your branding on it. Canva, I'm using it right now. It is a simple way to be able to help build your brand and be able to put marketing pieces together for that, right? So you can use it for email signatures, open house flyers, buyer seller guides, transaction text. So I love Canva. You all know I love Canva, I'm in there all the time. But it's made me be able to have control over the pieces that I create, and I don't have to pay people, to do these things for me because I can create it myself. Now, there are some people who aren't that great at Canva, and if you're not, it might be worth it for you to pay. But I just think it's so user friendly that it's one of those systems that it's worth learning because it'll save you a lot of money if you learn how to do it well. Social media is a system. It's a system that I have been fighting, trying not to use, but you can't avoid it. It's a system that you have to use, okay? So there's certain topics or themes that you can have if it makes it easier for you to post on social media. I feel like the rules change every day on how often you're supposed to post, the time, what type of content you're supposed to post. I don't know, I just know that you gotta be on there. And the stuff that you put on social media has to have value to it. It can't just be copy and paste what somebody else did, because that just goes back to making us like every other person, right? But like I said, I think if you keep it authentic, if you keep it you and you keep it valuable and focused on the client, then it's something that's worth posting on social media. But you gotta be on there. You gotta be on there. So this is just an example of what you can do every day. You can do a market update every Monday, do like a term, a definition on Tuesdays, maybe you put a video up on Wednesdays, maybe you'll do a listing highlight on Thursdays, a business spotlight on Fridays. That's just an example of what you can do. But you do on your business development day, this needs to be one of those things that you're planning, what kind of content I'm gonna have on social media. Because it's gotta be part of your brand, like everybody's on social media, even if they don't want to be, like me. All right, so let's talk about some apps that can help you with content. Remember, and I say this I'm talking on both sides of my neck here because these are all apps that give you content, but you also have to make sure that it's not something that can just show up on any realtor's page. So if you take something that's like, 3 tips on how to XYZ, put your face on there. Like let it show that you're the one that's communicating that, because there could be anybody that's sharing that, and you don't want to be a copy paste realtor just to have content on your social media that's not affecting anybody, So these are all some content creation apps websites that you can subscribe to. I think some of them are pretty fair as far as costs. I think Ripple is a reel. I think you can get reels, real templates from here. So you can check these out if you need some help with your social media content. Anybody have any ones that they want to add? Any experiences that they've had with content creation sites? Good on that? Okay. All right, so we have farming tools. So this is a system. So these are some farming tools that we have. I do encourage all of you to select a farm because I feel like it helps you focus. You know what I mean? If we're a lot of times we worry about getting clients, but sometimes the clients can come from where our energy goes, right? And if you can if it's your own neighborhood or a neighborhood adjacent to yours, if you're spending your time and energy and dollars into a certain area, the hope is that you will eventually get business from it. So you can use the Chicago Title Farming app if you didn't get a chance to sit in on that class. It's excellent. Brian Mendoza from Stewart Title is also an excellent resource. If you're trying to pinpoint which homes that you want to market to. Corfact, Prospects Plus, those are 2 mail out companies that will do automated mailers for you, which is a system that's automated that you don't have to do anything for. Sponsoring events. I think sponsoring events like a back to school party or things like that, then your own neighborhood is really where you want to start because those are your neighbors, right? And there's nothing more frustrating than other realtors listing in your neighborhood. So I highly encourage you to start kind of stepping out and doing, maybe hosting like over to Santa Claus and have them come, take pictures with the kids in your neighborhood, different things like that to help you connect. HOA meetings are easy ways to meet all the people in the neighborhood, and then neighborhood Facebook pages. If you don't already have one, start one, right? Because they can be super powerful and very, very inexpensive to start. Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
You start your page, sure.
Right. Well, actually, I didn't start it.
You were active on it.
Yeah. And you definitely have to come from the perspective of offering value. You can't be on there saying, hey, if you ever need somebody to sell your house, no. No one cares. Everybody knows 8 agents. Like last year, I said everybody knows 4 agents. Now I feel like everybody knows 8 agents. Everybody in their mama is getting those. Okay, so farming is another system. Systems to nurture your clients. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all some secrets on this. This one is not a big secret. We talk about it a lot. There's no perfect CRM. Except the one that you use, right? If you actually use a CRM, then it's gonna work for you. And for those who don't know, CRM stands for Client Relationship Management. So it's basically a place where your database lives, but it stays active because there's automation to it, okay? These are some CRMs that I have researched, and they're supposed to be in the top, top CRMs for 2023. I'm not seeing Wise Agent, but I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for realtors, and Chime pops up a lot. Real Geeks, HubSpot, KD4, Follow Up Boss, Real Office 360, Top Producer, Market Leader. There's 1,000 CRMs, right? So it's really just finding out. I would highly encourage you to think about what you want your CRM to do, because like Reminder, I don't want to send out email campaigns because I don't do things to people that I want done to me. So I know it might be effective, but that's not the agent that I want to be. So I would much rather craft an email from me and send it to my steer than have, auto random, yeah. So that's just me, but in the CRM, I don't know that that's a priority to me. What's a priority to me and why I liked Real Office 360 is that it kept it simple. Like, I don't need you to do 1,000 things, I just need you to keep my people, their birthdays, their family members, and sing it to my calendar so I know when to reach out to them. And I can add tasks and say, hey, I need to hit up this person, this month I need to hit, so it keeps my calendar and my people connected. And that's all I really want my CRM. I don't need you to do all this magic, I don't need you to talk to people at midnight and all that stuff. I mean, they boast a lot of cool things, but I'm like, am I gonna use that? Do I want that?
The one that I paid for is expensive, and I was using it in the beginning, but it's expensive, and I was like, I don't use the rotary dial, I don't do all this, I don't do all of, like, it was just too much, and then I'm here, I'm paying $99 a month, whereas, and yeah, this time what I need to do, so that's why I asked. The reason for the switch to Real Office 360, does it have some of the same things that clients had, so.
Yeah.
What I've noticed too is just like, when I've been trying to do the research, like YouTube in it, and seeing like, if you listen to some of the reviews, like, okay, this offer this, but this doesn't, like, you're matching them up, like, I listened to one of them, like, a long time, I did it twice. And he like compared like 4 different ones, like all in one video. So I feel like I was able to say, okay, I like this, but I don't like that.
Take advantage of the free trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, you're fine, it's also like what's user friendly, but not just like, what does that offer, but like, okay, for example, when I moved over here, I had HubSpot, I also had another one called the Buffini Referral Maker. I don't know if you guys know about Brian Buffini, and I really liked that one, but it didn't have as many integrations as HubSpot. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get HubSpot. Well, then I got HubSpot, and it's so customizable that it's like, it would take so much time to get it to where I would need it to be to start functioning easy. Like, I got lost in HubSpot. I was like, okay, I can't handle this. It's like, it had so many options and so customizable that it takes more time. Okay, it's not simple, you know what I mean? Sure. So, yeah. And I really like the Buffini Maker because it does have the campaigns. It reminds you birthdays, you can link spouses, you can link other family members. It links to your calendar. It reminds you to send out notes. It's user friendly. You can put transactions in there and it tracks your transactions, your business expenses. And you can pay extra, which I pay for like the $25 one month, but you can pay extra and it's like $160, but they will mail you monthly newsletters for you to mail out to your clients. You can print labels like for addresses, so there's a bunch of stuff. It's just, yeah, like it's keeping it simple. And then what are you going to use for? It's like, oh yeah, it has all these features, but it's like giving me a headache to that.
That's good. Anybody else have a CRM they tried or recommend?
Are you using Real Office right now? Okay. So I always talk about was.
Yeah. I mean,
Like a couple.
back here, yeah. So yeah, I tried it, I like it because like I said, it's super simple and it's cheap.
So,
I don't wanna hate looking at my CRM.
so a lot of it is just picking out the things you want that are important to you in your business,
Right.
test driving them, because most of them have free trials,
Mhm.
and then actually using it.
So we're using it that.
That's my days, I don't actually do this, so, I mean, I haven't set a lot of ones.
But really, I mean, if you think about it, you should live in your CRM.
Right,
Like you should look at it daily, if not, at least have it once a week to where you're adding people, because you should be adding people to your database every week. And then nurturing people who are already in there. I think a lot of times, I can't tell you, I try to say this repeatedly because it's so true, that there is a gold mine that's already in your phone, already in your CRM, it's already in your database. Just because you sold them a house last month doesn't mean that they don't know 3 people that need to buy a house or a house. So don't lose touch with these people or they'll leave you somebody else.
right.
But all these other realtors that are out there, they're out there to consume. So make sure that if they already like you, that they stay remembering who you are. And then just keeping it personal, we kind of talked about that earlier, you know, in my anti-AI conversation. Birthday cards, like if somebody, you know, wrote me a birthday card and dropped me a little $5 Starbucks gift card in there and mailed it to my house, I'd be like, oh, because everybody else is gonna call, they're gonna mention on Facebook, or they might not even, like, you could go a whole birthday and get a call from your mom, and everybody else is texting you or hitting you up on Facebook, which is fine, but it's doing the same thing everybody else is doing, right?
Make it more personal.
Right, right. Handwritten notes, so, I know that we kind of talk about that a lot, but has anybody started doing that? Has anybody write 2 notes a day?
We're around 2 notes today, but like, it's to clients, like, I'll do stuff like, I don't know, quarterly, just depends on the holiday, and I'll send stuff to my past client, I do stuff for them.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the thing is getting, like, if you can just say, hey, that's part of my legion, two notes a day. That's gonna make a massive connection between you and whoever you just ate lunch with last week. Maybe somebody invited you somewhere or told you about something, or maybe just an appreciation letter or something, saying that you appreciate them. I mean, like I said, in this world where we're all connected by, you know, the internet, to connect in real life is gonna make a huge impact. So, handwritten notes, of course, closing gifts, holiday gifts, that sort of thing. And I think I've got some apps on. Where, say again,
I need to order clothes.
there we go. Here's some places that you can order clothing.
I don't know.
I know you got your system for clothing.
Yeah.
So you have the system. I know that's what we're talking about today is once you've thought through all these things, you don't have to think about them again. You know, they're just part of what you have in your business. So I use Shutterfly for most of my sellers, because a lot of times people don't know what to get a seller if maybe they're moving out of state. But if they had a happy experience in their home, I'll usually take all the listing photos, put them in a Shutterfly book and give it to them at closing. Costs $25.
That's a cute idea.
And it's super personal. I can actually show you what they look like, and I put like a little note in there. He's doing that. He's doing, I know. Personal Creations is another website that I use very frequently that allows you to customize just about anything, blankets, mugs, knives, you know, robes, towels, like anything that you want to customize is a great website. Etsy is a great one too. Etsy's slow though. Etsy is gonna take you a while. Yes, way ahead of time. This is a new one, Snappy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Snappy. So it's a website that allows you to pick a budget and send a link to your client, and then they can pick from like a roster of gifts. So they get to pick their own gift. I thought that was a really cute idea. And maybe do something like that for like referral clients, you know, that like somebody refers somebody to you, to send them like a little snappy thing. And I mean, it's just another option, but I thought that was a cute idea. And then Client Giant is a little more pricey because the more clients you have, the more expensive it's gonna be. I think it ends up being like $9 a year per client, but the more clients you have, that's our add up. But Client Giant is basically a company that has gift giving on autopilot. So on their birth, like you take a client that you just close with, you enter them into your Client Giant database, and you don't do anything else. You just pick which gift you want them to have and what dates they need to get them on, and Client Giant sends it out with your name, your branding, and this like customized stuff. So it's not just like flowers.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
There's a company, and I think they're here in the city that does kind of the same thing. You have a subscription you can do. There are different levels. You can send it, you know, like a closing gift. They'll send one on the anniversary of that 1 year. You can pick the package of what you want.
Yeah.
And they kind of have different options. I mean, you can get $200 or $300 deals and stuff, but they have kind of the same thing. It's somewhere.
Yeah, let me put the names. I love to support local.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about that, like even something like Christmas gifts, like I don't want to be stressed out every Christmas. Like, oh God, I gotta get my sponsor. Yeah, it's just automatic. And it's gonna be nice stuff. Like I think one of I saw was golf balls with the client's name on there. So it's something like that. It's really personalized, but it's something that you don't have to think about. And that takes care, that nurtures your client base without you literally having to, mail it out and figure out everybody's and all that. So those are some apps that can help you with nurturing your client. These are some apps to keep in touch with your clients. So how many of you guys have heard of HomeBots? HomeBots, right? So HomeBot is a system that I don't know how, I'm not sure how frequently it does it, but I think it's monthly actually. Where it gives monthly updates on the equity in your client's home. So that is a great way to touch, and it's branded to you as well. What is this? HomeBot, yeah. So so it's a great way to add value because every month they're seeing, hopefully they're seeing equity increase in their house. It's something that's automated that you don't have to think about, and it's something that's super impactful, because I know if I got that from my realtor, I'd be like, oh man, they're staying on top of me every month, and that's an easy touch. It's an easy touch every month. So I'm not sure what the price is, but I don't think they're super expensive, and you can partner with a lender to do it. And so either there's some lenders that I think cover it, but you can have, dual branding on your HomeBot. Yeah, I think they email it out. It's not my favorite, but you might have an option where you can mail it out or text it or whatever. Okay, so this is one that I'm gonna share with you guys because you're here. But look up Reminder Media. Reminder Media is what I use to nurture my past clients, and it's basically a magazine, beautifully done, that looks like I wrote all the articles in it, or not wrote all the articles in it, but it says on the top, it says compliments of Serena Wallace, it's got my picture. On the back it's branded to me, on the insert it's branded. But when I tell you that this is a beautiful magazine, it is like top notch, like people keep all of them. There's something that will like sit in, in a. Well, I'll let you decide what you want.
Well, like, girl, man, you on there, it's gotta be. I ain't going either way.
Well, like I said, I've decided that if I'm close with you, then I have to have a system to keep in touch with you, and it's part of my system. And of all the automated things, like I said, I do to people what I want people to do to me. I would like that magazine, so I will look for my hit them up. I highly recommend you. Everybody needs this app. Everybody needs this app. If you don't use it or haven't tried it, I think you will love it. It's an app that allows you to create groups within your phone. So it's a phone app, but it allows you to send mass text messages or group messages or individual texts or individual emails. So you're able to, like, if I was gonna, and I do that from time to time, like normally when I do like a reminder for class, it'll have everybody that's in the coaching program, but it'll only go to people one at a time. So there's not like a huge back and forth between everybody in the group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay. Hit them up, and then Text in Touch. Text in Touch is the one that I came across recently that basically takes what we do, like an email drip campaign. It takes that from email to text. So instead of emailing your database on an automatic, it's a text service that automates valuable information through text. So that's another one that you can look up too, and see if that's something that you want to add to your nurture system for your clients. So items of value, let's talk about that for a second. Anytime that we're calling or texting or sending a video, we want to send something called an item of value, something that's going to help your client, and something that's going to be beneficial to them. Something that's super simple and super inexpensive that we can offer is CMA. People want to know what's going on in their neighborhood. Vendor lists, event updates, monthly newsletters, and invitation to events. Sierra, I know you put together like a long laundry list of items of value.
Yep.
Which a lot of times I think some of those are included in like email campaigns. But like even something like the reminders to turn off the sprinkler, winterize, those are some items of value. So just make sure that you have your own list of things that you want to provide as value. And that needs to be a part of your strategic plan too, like to say, hey, in January, this is the item of value you want to provide. February, March, April, May, whatever it is, how often you wanna do it, but just be thinking about it in the grander scheme of life, to make your day-to-day a lot easier. And make you feel like you're moving towards something, right? So if you have a plan and you're just executing the plan, you don't feel lost. But if you wake up every day and you're like, okay, I don't know what I should do today, then you just don't feel like you're making progress, right? But if you're executing the plan that you have built, you're moving your business where you want to go. Okay? All right, I think that is all I had. Anybody want to add anything to that? Did you get some good stuff added? I hope so. Yeah. Let me show you a couple of things that I had talked about. I can't remember what I talked about.
To touch on like the items of value list that we kind of went over, yes, like it's a good thing to use if you just create it. You don't have to do it again. And you can set it up to email people that maybe like you've never talked to or have thought, like you have their info, but haven't really made a connection for farming, but then you can actually mail it to your clients. So it's like you're farming, but you're also following up with your clients, and then you just do it one time, you don't have to do it again.
Right.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad that you brought up GPT because I made a few the other day and I spent too much time on it.
You can go down rabbit hole on those things and.
You really can. Oh, I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist. I guess you can never come in a perfectionist.
All right, so I was gonna show you guys, so this is Shutterfly. I know you got all the names of Shutterfly, but this is the last, seller I worked with. So at the front page, I made like a little letter, and this makes it to where you can write, well, it's only $25, but you can write it off too. And then it's just got all listing photos in there. And like I said, I didn't pay hardly any money for it, but typically, like I said, it's weird getting sellers closing gifts because it's like they're not moving, they might not be moving into a home. So there's that.
It's like a little remember book. It's like a remember.
Yeah, so remember where you were. I did the only time. I did that one time and my client started crying, and so I was like, oh, I don't know, that was the best idea, but I don't know what she was crying for. She liked the gift, but I think they were kind of going through some things. Personal Creations and Personal Creation Mall, if you have not been on there, you can go nuts on these sites because they have literally everything that you could possibly think of.
I'll take a picture, take whatever the front picture was of the listing and use the app Waterlog, and it can turn the picture into a watercolor, and I just print it out on a nice sheet of paper. And I frame it. And I put that for my sellers, and I give them a bottle of champagne, and I put the address on there.
That's really nice, especially like I've had a couple clients that they were like, they had to sell grandma's house. And it was very emotional, so like that's a beautiful thing, when you give somebody, it's like a super emotional sale, you know?
Yeah. Or like the first time, like I had, that might have been why she was crying, because that was the first one we had bought.
Yeah, sometimes it's really emotional, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a good idea, I've never thought about that for sellers, that's a good. What's under that? Waterlog. You like it? Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so there's, Personal Creations. Oh, there was one, I was gonna show you guys phone bot too, just because I can't remember how much, how much the prices were on that. But I think that's actually something I'm gonna incorporate. Hey, Travis, have you ever heard of HomeBot? Okay. Let's see if somebody can get us okay, well, check out HomeBot. On your own time. Fair on your own time. All right, if that's all. Then we'll let you guys go. Thank you guys online for joining us. You guys have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.